I'm Ian Terry, Senior Curator of History at the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery, and in my hand here I'm holding a very small medical kit that was said to have been found on the body of Dr. Edward Wilson, who was part of the Scott South Pole expedition in 1910 to 1913. Now, Wilson was one of 5 members of Scott's party that trekked to the pole in 1911-1912, only to reach the pole 4 weeks after Roald Amundsen had also reached the pole. So in what was touted as the race to the pole, I guess they lost. They got to within 11 miles of One Ton Camp, which is where their final food depot was, but they were caught in a blizzard there, and 3 of the men died in the tent in the blizzard. 2 had already died earlier on in the trek. Their bodies were not found until 7 or 8 months later, the following spring, and this medical kit is said to have been found on Dr. Wilson's body. Now, the way it got to the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery was that his cousin, Robin Wishaw, was a young medical student in Hobart who went to the United Kingdom in 1914 to join up for the First World War. The Wishaw and the Wilson families were very, very close, and obviously it appears that the Wilson family gave this medical kit to Robin Wishaw, who, as a young medical student, Dr. Wilson was a medical doctor, and I guess Robin Wishaw was going to war, so it was kind of this, empire hero kind of scenario. Robin Wishaw donated this medical kit to the museum in 1946. Well, one of the interesting things in this medical kit are some of the little files of liquids and tablets that are in there: opium, cocaine, that kind of thing. The sort of stuff you would never find in a medical kit today, but were quite in common usage at that time, usually as painkillers. I think the opium here is a tincture for toothache. One of the things they did carry, which is quite extraordinary, and some people say this is why they died, was that on the way back from the pole, they collected geological specimens, and they were carrying something like, I think it was 35 pounds of geological specimens, which of course would have slowed them down, because they were also dedicated to science, to a scientific exploration of Antarctica. Although the main reason for the expedition was to go to the South Pole, there was still a very strong, very important scientific program. And so, they were carrying rocks, had rocks in their packs. Most of the material that we have in the museum, most of the collection items are donated quite serendipitously, so people ring us up and say, I've got this in my top cupboard or attic or under the bed or whatever, are you interested in it? And so a lot of the material, yes, is very, very old. It could be 100 years or more old, and so it has come through probably several pairs of hands, often through family though. Very often through family. So, and that's useful to us because that gives us a provenance that tells us, yes, that this really does come from this particular person who it's purported to have come from.